The master categories each week are when we get to talk about the tokens we drew the week before, which give us our categories, and then we pick our topics based on those categories. If you're new to us, that's how it works. If you're old to us, sorry. Luke, why don't you kick us off with your category?
Sure. I had TV and film. I'm going to talk about probably the film that's getting the most talk right now.
Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Lost in New York.
I want to see that now, actually. I think, yeah. Anyway, I'm talking about Disaster Artist. This is...
I think that sentence was a disaster artist.
Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
The James Franco movie. About, I see what you did there. About Tommy Wiseau and the making of his movie, The Room. And I knew
the best worst movie ever made.
You're talking about The Room, the best worst movie,
right?
Yeah.
It was called. Was it?
It did abysmal when it first came out. Tommy actually kept it in theaters himself for 2 weeks just to get nominated, to be able to be in the nomination for Academy Award. It was way under profited from what he spent on it. He spent almost $5 million on it. But since then, has turned a profit, it become a cult following. It does midnight releases, people quoting along with it, all kinds of stuff. And that's why they made this movie of just the story of who is this guy? Why did he make this movie? And kind of a peek into like friendship. It's very strange.
Yeah.
So I went into it. I wanted to see it because everybody is seeing it. I honestly didn't really have a desire to see it because I saw The Room. And it's terrible. It's just the worst. And I was like, you know what? I don't see how this is going to be anything like, I don't care about the movie already. So I don't really care about the guy. I'll see it just because everybody's saying it's great. And I'm glad I did. It's good. It felt a little bit like a, so it's directed by James Franco. So it's James Franco directing himself as Tommy Wiseau directing himself
right,
as Johnny in The Room. And so it's the craziest thing.
And James Franco wrote it.
Yeah.
He wrote and directed it.
And Tommy Wiseau wrote The Room.
It's the most meta experience I've ever been involved in.
And so I listened to, actually there's a really good interview on The Nerdist with Seth Rogen in the last couple weeks. He talks about just how they came up with the idea together. And James was kind of a method actor in it. And so he was acting like Tommy. He said it was just the weirdest experience ever, is watching this guy be a character directing the character of the character.
Yep.
It's just crazy to think about, but he does great. James Franco does amazing as Tommy Wiseau. At the end of the movie, they show parallel scenes. That's not a spoiler.
Like side by side, shot for shot.
Side by side, shot for shot. And it's really good how they were able to capture the same thing.
Hey, doggy.
But overall, I'll say that I enjoyed it. I don't know if I buy into all the hype it's getting. I think it was made just to get Tommy Wiseau into the Academy Awards, which is fine. But The Room is garbage. It's still garbage.
You think that? You think that's why they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh. Okay.
Just to get
I'm
his
hearing
name.
some doubling right now of my voice, and it's really throwing me off. It stopped.
Okay.
Thanks.
It was freaking me out. Like I had more of a thought, but then I stopped because I couldn't hear myself. And then Patrick looked at me like, was that your whole thought? So I was communicating why that was my whole thought. I don't think that's why they made this movie. I think they made this movie because it's a really unique story. He is an incredible character as a person.
Sure.
Well, in the book, The Disaster... So there's a book called The Disaster Artist. It's written by Greg Sestero, who is Tommy Wiseau's friend and kind of like right-hand guy, I guess, in the room. And then also in the new film, Best Friends, the new Tommy Wiseau film that's slated for next year, it's him and Greg, and also Paul Scheer, by the way. But the book itself has done really well. And apparently the book is full of just absolutely crazy stories. I haven't read it, but I think I'll actually pick this book up. It sounds very interesting.
Sure.
And so certainly this follows a lot of the source material in the book, although I think they leave out some of the crazier stuff.
Well, so Tommy Wiseau, James Franco was doing his press circuit for The Disaster Artist and was on Jimmy Kimmel like 2 weeks ago. And he brought Tommy Wiseau out for part of his interview. And Jimmy asked Tommy, like how close, like if he signed off on the movie essentially, and he said yes. And he asked him how close to reality it was, and he said it was like 99.8%.
Now that percent always changes. It's always 99.9. That 0.1% is always different for a different reason.
Sure,
Seth Rogen talks about that in his interview.
Yeah. So, but it's. So you gotta believe though, because this movie does not paint the greatest picture of Tommy Wiseau, right? He's a little crazy.
He's a monster,
and more than a little unbalanced. Yeah. And so you gotta think that in a movie that's depicting you that way, for you to come out and say, no, this is actually accurate. That says something. I think.
Yeah.
So I saw the film as well, and I thought James Franco did a great job.
Yeah.
I typically am not a huge Franco fan. I'm not like against him, but like I'm always split kind of 50-50 on the stuff that he's in.
Sure.
I thought Seth Rogen did a great job in the film. I thought that
everybody's
Dave
great in
Franco.
the film.
I thought the acting was incredible considering the source material. And then when they did the side-by-sides at the end, I was floored by how well they recreated these scenes. It was cool.
Yeah. I will say this about the side-by-side. It's funny to see the ones that they shot because everybody is such a better actor. I don't know what that was. Everybody is such a better actor than the actual actors in the film. So you can see that they're trying to be bad, but they're just not. And I think that was funny.
It's like when a good singer tries to sing off key and like they just can't.
Right.
But I think that says something for The Room initially. And I think that's one of the reasons The Room is celebrated the way it is, because you could not set out and make a movie this bad. I mean, it's like genuinely, it works. I mean, people like it the way they do because it comes from a place of someone being very serious and taking what they're doing very seriously, which is what adds the level of either insanity or like disbelief or whatever to the whole process. Whereas if someone actually set out to make the worst movie ever made, it's not going to land the same way The Room does.
Isn't that part of the definition, though? Maybe it's not a stated definition, but kind of the understanding of the phrase camp. Right? Like doesn't any film get its campiness because it wasn't intended to be what it ended up being? Like
not necessarily.
Not necessarily. There are films that set out people set out to make a campy film. So
okay. Yeah. I guess this one was not intended to be a cult classic. It was intended to be a mainstream blockbuster film, and instead, and you see this when you see the film, and I won't ruin any of this, but like he has all but embraced what this film has become, even though it was not what it was intended to be.
Well, like Sharknado version 7 is setting out to try to make a film that is I guess it has an underground following, or like they're not setting out trying to win awards. They're setting out trying to make a bad film that people sit and like riff on with their friends. Right. Whereas what you just said, this was set out to make an award contender.
Right. And it's
and
funny,
missed the mark by that much.
Yep.
So I think the part I like the most is just watching the story of these two characters of two people that really wanted fame or wanted to be in this world. One that kind of knew how to do it, but wasn't confident, and the other that had no clue but had money. And so it's this,
only had confidence.
right, and only
money.
had confidence. Yeah. And to watch how they evolve, I say evolve because I don't necessarily feel like Tommy evolved at all throughout the movie because he just was so stubborn to be himself and what he wanted.
Sure. Yeah. To be himself or to be this character he created himself to be.
So the whole thing about Tommy is he's a guy playing a character that he feels like he needs to be. Like there's things that he says throughout the movie. He's trying to convince
the world that he is those things.
Right. But he says things throughout the movie of because this is a Hollywood thing or this is a Hollywood movie or I'm an actor or like, and he's projecting this character that he feels like is what is real, but it's not real. And that's the thing that was crazy to watch is that a guy so committed to this delusion in his mind that it became his reality. And he's so like,
to be fair, he's on Jimmy Kimmel now. So
whatever.
Good on you. I think that the weirdest thing for me is that even to this day, nobody knows how much money was spent on the movie. I think they said at the end of it, like they estimated at least $6 million of his own money.
Or where it came from.
And no one knows where his money comes from. Nobody knows where he comes from.
Right.
Nobody knows how old he is.
Right.
Like, still, like, how is that possible in this day and age that a movie can be made, taxes have to be paid for said movie, all these different things, and no one knows where this money's coming from? That blows my mind. So the fact that he has somehow managed to stay both in the spotlight and under the radar are blow my mind crazy.
I will say this, and this is something I have thought about, unless this is still part of the character, and that's just part of the show, is that people don't know that, but really people do know that.
I mean, what I've seen, afterwards I've looked stuff up and I haven't found any of this stuff. So like,
yeah,
like I guess I don't know. It to me the whole concept, unless this was intended for the last 10 years or however long it's been since this movie came out. No, 15 years probably. That this was like a long con. It's crazy.
No.
This whole story
I'm saying there could be NDAs or whatever that it comes out, and really the only people that need to know the info are the tax people. And that's it.
I see what you're saying.
I mean,
okay.
And that's part of the mystique of his character or whatever.
What would you rate the movie?
I would rate it a 7. I'd probably rate it an 8, but Dave Franco's beard is gross.
It's not, but I think it's his actual beard.
Yeah, I know it's gross.
It's not good. Like, it looks fake.
You are so pretentious.
Just give him a fake beard that looks more real than his real beard.
I mean, he's a handsome dude. Like, it just looked gross. Like, it looked just bad.
Didn't look great.
It looked like a fake beard.
Yeah.
It was just really off-putting.
So off-putting that it makes you dock it 1 full rating point.
10% lower rating. Because your stuff comes in patchy.
But you know what? I stand by that for you and with you. I think that's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah.
And I would say anyone right now that's growing a beard, and maybe it's not perfect, just know that people think less of you because of it.
At least Luke does.
That's fine. I'm okay with that.
All right. Who are you tossing it to?
I'm going to toss it to Patrick.
What's the hair in a spray can? What's that called?
Spray hair.
Sprayer.
Sprayer.
I thought there was something. Okay, so
hairspray?
No. There's like, I think there's like you can cover up a ball spot, a bald spot with
I think this is 3 weeks in a row that I'm pretty sure if we go back and watch the last 3 weeks, you've said a thing that's made us both go.
Yeah, sorry. Hey, so today I'm talking about the German game Huntekiller.
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 No, okay, so Huntekiller, some Toys and Games this week. And, the gift giving continues. Luke has introduced me to this world of Huntekiller. Now, Huntekiller, the idea is it's an escape room in your house. I don't know.
So you literally just open the door.
It's a really simple
You have
game.
the keys. You can just walk out anytime.
Merry Christmas.
I paid Luke $30 to leave my house. So the idea is that you are sent a box. So in the same way you have these other subscription services, you are sent a box once a month. It comes on the 15th of every month, except for the starter box, which is what I have. And it is packed full of clues, right, to solve a case.
Would you say it's chock full?
Yeah, I would say it's. Why would I say that? That's not a pun.
That's a phrase. Chock full?
Oh, I thought you were trying to make a murder pun.
No, just chock full.
Oh, I mean,
okay,
I
yeah.
can see the pun. I can see the beginning of that pun. I don't think it's good.
Okay. Like chuck meat? Like someone's got...
No, like a chalk outline. I think he thought you said chock full.
No, I didn't think he said that. I just assumed he was trying to be funny.
Oh. I like Luke's, though. Yeah. The chalk outline.
It's chock full.
We digress.
Okay. So, but the idea is that 15th of every month, you get this box. This box has clues in it, and you go about solving this mystery. But you don't do it alone. You do it with friends. You get you set up your own murder board, and you do it with a community. So you get invited to a murder board. What was the name of that show?
Gravity Falls.
No, with John Lithgow when he's like being accused of a murder and the big shot lawyer.
Oh, yeah. That was a great show.
Murder board.
I can't remember the name of it.
Murder board. I
was a
can't
great
either.
show.
I made it 2 episodes from the end of the season and stopped watching it.
That's dumb.
I know. I need to
John
go back
Lithgow?
I think it was John Lithgow.
He does not like John Lithgow. Yeah, it's
He
John
was the
Lithgow.
bad guy in
He's also in The
Dexter.
Crown, by the way.
Dexter. Yeah.
He's like freaking Winston Churchill. Okay. So,
I think this episode could have been 6 minutes long. had we actually stayed on task.
Stay with me. So, but you solve the mysteries with the community as well. You get invited to like a Facebook group and things like that. So you can work together in trying to solve the mystery. So initially, when you get the box, you have to text a number. And once you text that number, it basically, I have it pulled up right now. It sends you a video to watch for the whole like get started, laying everything out for you. And then it does the big explanation, letting you know what it's all about. I'm just going to drop this link inside the show notes so you can look through this stuff. But it explains you go through all this stuff, you start trying to find connections, start doing research, and then you have to start solving puzzles. And every month you get a new box, which is pretty amazing. So I have a box right here.
Well, you get a box with new clues.
With new clues.
Until you solve the mystery you're on, and then you get a new clue box.
That's a very good distinction.
It starts about 6 months. Each season is about 6 months long.
Right. Gotcha. So this is the box. This is, in fact, when I went to pick it up from the mailbox, the guy was like, "This looks cool." That's what he said to me. So, Junta Killer, there you go. There's some good feedback. And opening it up. So, again, this is the starter pack. So, it's got the welcome.
I wouldn't get too deep into the clues.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
It comes with a cool little pin.
Yep.
So look, all the stuff it comes with.
Maybe don't even open up the envelope.
I won't. It comes with a notebook as well. In these, and then the last thing which I won't open is the envelope. So this has all the clues for me to get started.
Why don't you read what's on the front of it though? Because it's cool, like how they did that.
Yeah, so it says, listening friends of America, Patrick Hill has my address, inspected by RS, has a package ID, and that's it. Was there supposed to be something else?
Well, no. But like the way that they do it, like you can tell, and it'll make sense when you open it up, but it's like a case file thing sent from...
Oh, yeah, there's like a permit number and an ID number and like all that kind of stuff.
It looks all very official. It's very, very cool, and it all... And everything matters, and all the things play together. So Luke sent me one of these as well. Chandra and I have already gone through it, and we've already spent like 2.5 hours cracking some of the case.
Have you made headway?
It's really interesting. What?
Have you made headway?
Oh yeah, I mean we have knowledge, yeah. Because when you first get it, you have no idea like what you're even looking at. You're just looking at a folder full of stuff. And what's really cool about it is they have, aside from like web pages and blogs and things that are real world, and I'm doing air quotes for those of you who are just listening, air quotes, that are real world scenarios. Like they built a website for that for this for the organization and everything, and it looks like it's a website for an organization. It's not like branded Hunt a Killer or anything. Besides all that, they actually weave real world history events into the scenario. So you can go and actually Google these other events, and you have to get clues by doing real world research and like charting like star maps and charting like Google Maps and stuff like that. You can't solve any of this stuff without using your brain and using real world like research abilities. Yeah. Which is really, really cool.
Now you could go on Reddit and just find the answers, which is not fun.
Which is dumb. Patrick, you haven't done that, have you?
No, not at all.
You guys could have two different cases to solve. You're not necessarily on the same one.
So that's the only thing I don't know, and I haven't got into it, is because I know that once you get into it, you always get your cases on the 15th of every month. I didn't know if the starter pack is for a case or if the starter pack is a standalone experience. I wasn't sure.
Case.
It's a case, but they all box ones are box one. So we are going to have the same one for now.
Gotcha.
So box one is box one. Yeah. I mean, in all of the research I've done in this process, and I've done a lot since we were reading stuff.
I know other people that have done the same thing, and they got two different cases.
To start with?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there's different cases going on.
Yeah. There's there's like small cases. So there's like one overarching case, and then there are small mysteries that you solve along the way. So you will kind of close a couple of different scenarios as you go over the 6 months. But
there's like real world, like you said, there's real world research. I don't know what's going on with me today. But then there's also like ciphers and puzzles and all kinds of stuff to add into it. Seems really awesome.
Yeah. Now you have to be careful when you're doing your research to not, because lots of people are doing this. There's thousands of people doing these things.
Yeah.
And people are documenting them, and some people might be further along on the same case. So like we were reading through one thing, I'm like, oh, okay. And then we realized, oh, wait a minute, this isn't an official thing. This is somebody documenting their thing, and there's information they divulged that we haven't gotten a clue for yet. So we stopped reading that particular thing. But it's like a blast. We spent, like I said, 2.5 hours on it. Yeah. And we just had to put it away because it was time to go to bed.
So here's the thing. It's on Cratejoy right now. Out of 111 reviews, it has 4.5 stars. That's 4.5 out of 5. People seem to say good things about it. It's $30 a month as a subscription. So for normal Crate, like monthly services, it might be a little on the high side but that being said, it's $30 a month. I mean, if you consider the amount of time that Andrew, it sounds like you're going to be putting into this. It definitely sounds like, especially if you include some friends, it's going to be a cheaper experience than getting a group of people and going to the movies. So, or doing something along those lines, right? And that's what I think I like about it the most is that I can have 6 or 8 people come over and we can just all sit down with it together and have the same amount of community you would have over something like a board game or something like that. But knowing that it is, in some ways it's new or at least there is new stuff every month. That's exciting. So I will at least keep this going a couple of months. I'm not going to cancel it after month 1. I want to give some time to really get into it. But everything looks good so far, and I will report back once I've played it.
Nice.
Awesome.
So, Andrew.
Yeah. I'll close things out here. I'll make this pretty
You see
brief.
Me trying to avoid the sun right now?
Yep.
It's like, daytime is rough.
I thought you were in a discotheque. But like a burnt out discotheque where there's only like 6 actual little mirrors on the mirror ball left because it's been through some stuff.
Let me tell people that are watching, peek behind the curtain, a fun story. The way that my lighting setup works at night is that I sit in front of a giant window and I shut the blind, so it's just a big white box, and then I reflect light off of that. So it's like this. That's what I do. Box. It works great. During the daytime, I'm sitting in front of a giant window, which means that it's awful because the light is changing and it's like coming through these little pinholes in the blinds, and it's driving me nuts right now.
We might need to get you some blackout curtains or something for these purposes. So for my master category, I got art and design, and like I said, I got some stuff in the mail this week, and I'm really excited about it. He's an artist that I've just stumbled across a couple weeks ago on Instagram, which is where I find all of my new art, as longtime listeners of the show will attest. His name is, his website is neolido.com, but his name is Nacho Diaz. That's the name of the artist. And his website says the cute art of Nacho Diaz. And so we're fans of cute art. We've talked several times to several cute artists.
Or at least one person several times.
So his style will be very reminiscent of a like a Jared Mariyama. But his subject matter is a little bit different, which is super fun. So he does primarily just really cute stuff, and they're kind of quippy, fun, jokey style art. If you know what I mean by that. Very kind of Mike Mitchell-esque in its approach. The composition is kind of that there is a subject matter with maybe some object that they're interacting with, and that's it. So it's very simplistic in its design, but very, very fun. So what I picked up from him, he had this Black Friday sale, I think. It was either Black Friday or Cyber Monday. But he has these pins, and I'm going to show you guys these pins. These are part of his series called Villains Need Love. So I got this pin right here, which of course is Jon Snow with the White Walker, and he's hugging a little White Walker doll. This one's great. I'm showing the camera first, then I'll show you guys. It's 11 holding a like snuggling up with a Demogorgon doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is great. It's Harry Potter snuggling up with a Voldemort doll. And then Finn from Adventure Time with the Ice King, which is great. And then finally, Mario snuggling up with Bowser, and super, super fun.
There's so many of them.
I know. Well, they were like $5 on. Like
there's a thing with Dr. Doom.
So
there is.
I also got this one, which is on my jacket, which I don't know if people can see.
Broccoli.
But it's broccoli, and he's got the Instagram like
hook.
the Instagram bar where it's like he has 0 likes, 0 shares, 0 friends, and he looks sad. He's just a sad, and it said like it's something like something needs love too, or I don't know, whatever. But his style is so fun, and he has a ton of artwork out there. If you go to his website, the little Peter Pan snuggling up with Captain Hook. Did you like that one, Luke?
Yeah.
Man, his work is good. He's got all sorts of different characters, lots of pop culture characters, and then even some original work as well. But go check out his website, Naolito, NAOLITO.com. You'll find it in the show notes and all the links. But man, he'd be fun to chat with online, or to chat with on the show. He is overseas, so I have to find out if he speaks English first before we have him on the show.
I'm looking at his art prints right now. He's got the Mario play on Shawshank. So good.
And he's also got the Mario play on Banksy.
Yeah.
He's got the fire flower and oh gosh, it's good. He's really, really good. So if he speaks English, I'm going to reach out to him. And otherwise, maybe we can get a translator. Maybe we can do our first episode that's translated. But his style is great. His perspective on stuff is great. If you're into pop culture, if you're into kind of that cute stuff that anybody would enjoy, that's safe for work, it's safe for family, go pick up some of his stuff because
I feel bad for
really
broccoli right now.
That broccoli, but he's so cute though, so he still wins the day. So some of the things that I just showed you are gifts that I got for people for Christmas. So hopefully the people who I'm getting them to, nobody tell. Come on, everyone just be cool. But I think that's it for me, which I think means that's it for us. So we're going to get out of this episode. Like I said, check out the show notes and links just below. If you're watching this on YouTube, go to mof1podcast.com to find the rest of the show notes and links. You can subscribe to this on YouTube. You can subscribe to this on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. Man, we're all over the place. Just go subscribe. That way it comes to you twice a week, every week, no matter what. We've been rolling out our hot seats from the Pop-Up Crop, which have been great. So if you haven't checked those out, go to hotseat.mof1podcast.com.
Yes.
Cool. Hey, that wasn't
Good job,
even
man.
rehearsed. I know. So check those out there. It's a great time. Lots of cool people that we chatted with from Pop-Up Crop. Go there. We have something to give away, don't we?
We absolutely do.
So why don't we go ahead and do that before we sign off completely?
So 2 weeks ago, we announced that we were giving away a Justin Peterson print. Luke is graciously donating to the cause. There it is right there. Obviously,
Happy birthday, everybody.
It's Shredder. I thought I was kind of talking slow because I was expecting Luke would jump in.
It did seem
and
like he would say something, right? I was expecting the same thing.
What?
He sat there with no words. He said nothing.
He just but it's two prints, correct? It's the colored and just the line version.
It's the color. It's the same thing, just black and white. If you remember, it was a gift that was already gotten.
And he just balled it up and just threw it in the corner of his room.
No, not at all. I said, we can give this away.
That's right. And so here it is. So we just asked you to comment on Instagram or YouTube. Everyone that commented was entered to win.
Yep.
And the randomly chosen winner of this Justin Peterson print is Mr. Cameron Krotz.
Cameron! Hey!
I hope the last name was Krotz. Maybe he
it's
doesn't want
Cameron Krotz.
people to hear his full name. Cameron C.
No. That one's too simple. Just say C. Krotz.
Better. We'll see. We'll appreciate that reference.
Yes,
All
he
right.
will.
Well, actually, I'm sure millions of people would appreciate that reference.
Wait a minute.
Will C's just the biggest fan that I personally know. Okay. Anyway, so Cameron, congratulations. Look, listen for the podcast is not for nothing, right? You just made some money. Kind of. I mean, is
Is he going to sell it? That sucks.
Whatever. It's yours. You can do
Justin
whatever you want,
Peterson
Cameron.
listens, and he's going to be very disappointed.
Message me your address. So
On
in
Slack.
Slack Luke your address, and if your name is Cameron, you'll get a print. So, all right, cool deal.
The best way to do that is to go to mof1podcast.com/Slack. If you're not already in the community, there are a couple of hundred people in there day in and day out conversing, encouraging one another. It's a great place to be if you're not already there. So make sure you're there, especially Cameron, because that's how you can collect on your print just in time for Christmas. The best part about this whole thing, Luke now has to go and stand in the holiday lines at the post office.
Stamps.com,
he's going to wait till
bro.
December 26th and ship it. That's exactly what he's going to do.
Stamps.com.
Do you really do stamps.com?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Talk about it next episode because I've never heard about it.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to get out of this one, though. Find us on all the social media platforms. Go to Slack, like we said. Go to patreon.com/MF1podcast to support the show on there. Throw a couple bucks in there. Become a patron. It's super helpful. It helps us continue to do what we do here. You get some extra stuff, too, just for doing it. And what else? We're on all the social platforms. Just search MF1
You can find
Podcast.
us.
I don't remember what I've already said. We're there. We're here. Come find us. We love you. We're going to out of here.
Here.
Wait. This week is Star Wars week.
Yeah.
That's all. We're going to get out of here. I'm Andrew.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Luke.
Peace out.
Bye.
Hold on to your butt.